Hello everyone, and welcome to our online session this week. This session is recorded. Now we start this week with a new module, and I would like to discuss this new module because it has a little bit of a different structure compared with the previous modules. So just to be sure that everyone knows how to approach this module, I will go through it and describe what's different from the previous modules. The good news is that now, after we did a lot of design and we understood how to create the model of a database, now we'll start doing it. So we'll start creating the database using SQL and being able to see what we design put in practice, being able to see the database that we design, which is exciting because it will allow us to play with it. Now, let's start by going in Blackboard and looking over the structure of this module. So I'll share my screen in a moment. Here we are. This is just a second to arrange a little bit some stuff that is over my screen. Now, this is a schedule that we are in. Sure, I publish the module a little bit early at the beginning of the week. Tomorrow is a due date for this module, so you still have time to work on it. And sure, there are 3 days of grace period as usual. Now, the module is described in this new folder, 214 SQL. And the ones that you are seeing right now, it's S1. There will be 5 of them, and it will go from a single table database. Then we'll learn how to create in SQL relationship and simple queries. Then we'll go to more complex queries that use joins, that put many tables together to ask more complex queries. And we'll make these queries even more complicated because we'll include one query in another query, creating subqueries and using the results of a subquery in a main query or in another query. So this entire structure will create a more complex query, and in the end we learn how to group information together and ask queries about groups, not only about individual rows, but group of rows that can be queried together, and in a way calculate some total, some maximum, some minimum, some kind of aggregate functions on those rows. Now, let's come back to our current module, S1 single table database, and it's in a way similar with our single entity design in the sense that we'll get a simple problem with one entity. You will create a database that has one table corresponding to that entity. And you have almost the same structure, but a few changes, and I will explain the changes and why they are different. Also, I will use this time to explain some issues that appear, and it's good, even if I described them previously, it's good if you have questions to ask me now about them. So, we'll start as usual with a cumulative test that is mostly a theoretical test that will test that you understand the theory. Then a guided assignment test that mostly tests your skills to do stuff with this theory. So this is more oriented toward SQL in this case. And sure, it has also some questions from previous sections. So those are general questions. And then you will have a SQL implementation assignment in the same structure that was before, in the sense that you have the problem, the specifications that is randomly generated for you. So don't take the solution from the internet or from your friend because it might be different. And if it's different, you'll get a 0 and you'll be very sad. So do this. It's not, it's explained. You have a lot of explanations in the learning materials, how to do it. Try to do it. It's not very complicated as a problem. If you don't know, ask questions. That's why I'm here, to help you understand the material. Now, something new that appeared here is this self-reflection exercise. And this is intended for two reasons. First of all, it's to identify yourself what was something difficult, something hard that in this module. Then you will need to follow a description that is provided on the forum. And somebody already started. Let me see if I can show you the thread. I'm on the forum. Yeah, in my how I have it here, doesn't let me do something. I need to enter in the student view. So okay, now I can see. So the instructions are here. You can pick a topic, for instance, that was difficult to understand. You can pick a part of an assignment, even a question that was difficult to answer, or some part of your implementation assignment, or if you just have a general suggestion that you strongly believe in and you want, for instance, more material or a video about some part of the course, that's also something that you can pick, but it needs to be something original. So again, don't copy paste from other sources because it doesn't help you. Now, what you do with these things that you pick, you need to provide a short description of what you want to talk about. Then you need to explain why this is a difficult topic, why you pick it as a difficult topic, and you need to be specific. It's not, oh, it was difficult to understand. It doesn't tell me what was difficult to understand. So something from it was difficult to understand. Try to identify that part. So that's why it's a self-reflection forum, because you need to think and try to identify your learning and why this topic, this element was hard to understand. So you need to do a kind of meditation about what you learned to identify this. Now, also, I assume because this forum is posted, you solved it in a way or another. Maybe not the best way, but you had a solution for it. Maybe not the perfect one, but you try to do something related to this issue. So the next part is to explain how you solve it. And all these things needs to be present. And if not, you will not get the full grade for your assignment. Now, why this is important is a reflection, because it will, after you finish all the assignments, it's creating a moment in which you breathe and are able to think about what you learned. And that's important because it will fix the knowledge in your brain. It will help fixing the knowledge in your brain. Now, this is like what we'll do this module. Now, in the next module, so you will need to look what others did or had problems and give an answer to their problems. For instance, if they had problems with the topic that for you was easier, or for you already found the solution for it, you can go and tell them, look, for me, I understood because I did this, or I read this article, or I read from the textbook this particular page. Don't be general. Don't say, oh, I look over the videos or I read the textbook. That's not specific. Doesn't help a person, because reading the entire textbook to answer a very specific question is not a solution. If you present a solution, be very specific. Oh, I went in the textbook and I read this particular section and that one clarified the issue. Or I watch this video and around, if it's a long video, don't put the entire video, say, okay, in the middle of it, this issue was addressed or something. So help the people to fast find their solution to the issues that they encounter. And you need to do this for 2 other students, not for everybody, but just read over, and the ones that you think you can provide an answer to those 2. Now, this forum is not graded, and sure, I will participate on it, so you may see some answers from me as well. Don't duplicate my answer as well. Don't duplicate other students' answers. I will try not to be the first to answer, but if I see a student that receives no answers or not good answers, I will jump in and answer the student. So if you don't see me answering, doesn't mean that I ignore you, mostly means that, and will be towards the end of the second module when I jump into answer, means I consider that the answer you received were good, and I didn't have much to add to those. Now, so don't consider that I ignore your post. It's just that I prefer to answer to people who posted late, for instance, and has no answer. So I prefer to provide an answer in that case. Now, this is not graded. This is just a forum to discuss. The grade is the next assignment, which is an assignment. So you basically what you need to do this week is just to take your post and put it in a document and return it here as an assignment. Now, keep in mind that you may say, okay, why I do it twice? So first of all, this is for grade, and you will receive a grade for it. The other one is just a collaboration tool that allows you to discuss and present your things to the others. And I separate that so it's no, and you will see the kind of requirements that I have are guaranteed that you can do it even if, for instance, answers don't answer you, or if there are other issues related to your post, or you can always do this assignment even if there were some problems with the forum. So I want everyone to be able to complete the assignment. And sure, the idea here is to try to keep the same. The easiest way is to have the same post, both on forum and in the assignment. Sometimes you may want to be more personal in the assignment because if I am the only one reading it, you may be more general or more abstract in the forum. That's perfectly fine. I don't, it's not, you will not lose points if your assignment is more detailed than the forum. But if it is not something sensitive, I recommend you to keep the two the same. It's easier for you. So you post something, then you take the same information and put it in the assignment. You see, part of it is based on the organization. Maybe when you post it, it's harder. You didn't organize very well the post. Now, when you submit this assignment, you have the occasion to reformat it to look better, which is okay. So again, what we grade is the assignment, not the forum post. So if the forum post was a little bit, maybe hurry up and you haven't followed all the rubric, now you have the chance to do it better. So this new part is 0.5, and basically will will be part of the same 6 points that you have each module. So it's not in addition, it's just substituting other work that was before. Now, the remaining, you still have the bonus activities that are the same. Now, I want to, before we go on to the quiz, There are many situations, and I recognize that, and I apologize for that, but I have no solution. Believe me, I have no solution. I tried, and I didn't find a solution. There are times when these guided assignments and these cumulative tests will not give you points for a very, let's say, very trivial mistake, like a missing space or something that is missing character, and I know that. However, I have no way, based on the capabilities of Blackboard, to account for most of those. That's why you have these bonus assignments each week, because the bonus assignments allow you to get a lot of bonus points doing stuff that you need to do anyhow, like submitting the homework in time or getting a good grade for your homework. So these are things that you presumably want to do anyhow. And the idea is, okay, you may lose 0.1 or 0.2 in the cumulative test, in the guided assignment, in such trivial mistakes. You compensate with them by doing your bonus assignment. And there will be other bonus assignments for the entire course, not for each module, that will also compensate for such situations. So I agree, maybe frustrating, maybe you don't want to retake an entire test because you forgot a space, and that's fine. You don't need to retake the entire test if you forgot a space and you lost 0.03 points. So if you lost 0.03 points for a space, you get 0.1, which is more than 3 times more, by submitting your homework or doing the test before the due date. So basically, I already covered 3 trivial mistakes, giving you just one opportunity of the bonus points. You have several, as you know, including coming to these online sessions and answering questions. Now, I cannot, and the GTA cannot go in each test and grade it manually. It was before, when I started some of the tests, some of them were quizzes in class, but in that case, it's just one opportunity. Sure, it's graded manually, so it will better account for trivial mistakes, but you will not have a chance to retake it. And if you look at your answers, you'll see that the trivial mistakes are not most of the mistakes. And even people contacting me, I look, and most of their mistakes are not trivial mistakes, are conceptual mistakes. So having the opportunity to retake a test allows you to learn from these tests. The tests are not only designed to test you, are also designed to teach you. So you have feedback for each of them, and many times the feedback is giving important knowledge how to do or why something is the way it is. So reading the feedback for a test is part of your learning experience. I don't recommend you going, okay, I got a low score, I will jump and try it again. At least you need to read the feedback, take notes from what you did wrong, and if needed, and I say most of the time it will be needed if you observe that you do a lot of stuff wrong, go back and read the learning materials for that part, because this will allow you to learn systematically again some of the stuff that you don't do good in the test. So don't ask me to give, we cannot grant manual regrading for all your attempts for all the students. And I cannot grant this only to one student, because then it will be unfair to the other students. So I say, okay, for me, it will take you just 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the GTA to go and find the question, regrade it, and so on. Yes, but if we do this for all attempts for all the students, the GTA will not sleep at night. And we cannot do that. So that's why I took some decision. Maybe you are not very happy with them, but based on surveys that I did in the course, people prefer to have multiple trials for the test to be able to improve themselves than having only one that, if you haven't learned for it, you will get low points, and that is. And you need to accept some bad things in order to have other good things. There is always a balance between, nothing is perfect in life. So this is part of imperfections given by Blackboard. Blackboard will allow me, I will give you, if I will be able automatically to give you partial grade, I will give it. Blackboard does not allow me to give partial grade for these questions. I even give you full grade or no grade. And because of that, it's hard to anticipate and to decide what mistakes is acceptable or not, and so on. Now, I hope I solved this one. And again, bonus points are intended to solve these situations. That's why we have them. So do the bonus points assignment, and they will compensate any trivial mistakes that appear in the test. This being said, if you think your answer is correct and it's not was not taken in account by the automatic grader, then you need to contact me, and I will be happy to look and give you the point. So if your answer was correct and the automatic grader was not good enough, no, not a problem. I will go manually and correct that attempt or that test. And I did this when, and I consider that, okay, yeah, I can improve the automatic grader to consider this case. Then I gave the point, and you will not suffer. So it's not about correctness here. It's about trivial mistakes that cannot be automatically identified. Now, also read careful what you need to submit, because now for the implementation assignment, you also are required to submit the code that you wrote. So be sure that you write your code and it's runnable, because we try your code to see that it's running and is doing what you need to do. So don't submit assignments that don't run, because it makes no sense. Why you submit something that you didn't succeed to run? It's clear that it will not run, and you will lose the points anyhow. If it doesn't run, try to fix it. Contact me, contact the GTA, try to fix it. Come to these sessions. I'm happy to debug any error you might have during these sessions, or by mail or in other ad hoc sessions. Okay, so we solved these ones. Now, the quiz, it's a different story. For the quiz, we do the manual grading. Why? Because you can take it only twice. Now, we do the manual grading, but only for one attempt. Why? Because you decide which was the best attempt, and we'll correct errors in that. It makes no sense to correct in the other one, because it will not be used. Only one of them will be used in your grade, the best one. So pick the one that you think you can improve the most. You can ask for manual grading, so this kind of trivial errors, or even if you misspell something, will be counted for, and you will get the points for the quiz. Why? Only the quiz will do the manual grading, because for the quiz, each question counts much more than for the other two. And in the other two, a question, it's very little. You can easily recover it based on the bonus points. For the quiz, a question counts a lot, not a lot, but much more. So that's why trivial mistakes are manually graded for the quiz. But you need to submit them at the same deadline, so don't miss the deadline. Now, the implementation assignment resubmission, here again appears a frequent, not very frequent, but there were a few students running in these type of problems. So if you mess up for any reason your submission, so you had your S1 implementation assignment, the normal submission, and you mess it up. How you can mess it up? Put the wrong file. Always check your file. It's something that you need to do when you submit a file. Check that you put the right file. But let's say you did the wrong file, or you put a previous version of the homework, not the last version, or you solve a different problem. I don't know how, but let's say you look at the videos and you forgot that your scenario is different and you solve the problem in video instead of doing whatever scenario you have. Or other things that mess up your submission and most likely you'll get a 0 for your submission. Now, this resubmission is your second chance. So that's why it's here, because now you have the chance to resubmit and do better. Also, because we need to be fair, this is the main reason for which one of the main reasons for which I edit here. But we need to be fair. If you are allowed to resubmit, the other student needs to be allowed to resubmit. So that's why I said, okay, if I allow some people to resubmit because they did a mistake, everybody needs to be allowed to resubmit because they did mistakes. How you judge what mistake it's resubmittable or not? You cannot judge that. So that's why with the assignment, I also a student who submitted the homework and got a low grade because it's a mistake to resubmit the homework and correct those mistakes and mention what was wrong. Sure, for somebody who messed up the submission, what was wrong is, okay, I put the wrong file. That's the explanation. And now I include the correct file. So you don't need to put anything else because that's covering everything that you did wrong in the normal submission. And you have, the resubmission will give you the chance to get the maximum grade. So it's not that you can get less grade because you resubmit. In both cases, it's a maximum. From the submission and resubmission, it's a maximum grade. If you do only one, it's still, so let's say you didn't have time to do the submission. You still can do the resubmission. What you need to do is to take your problem. So even if you don't have time to do the submission, run the query, copy your question, so you will have it for the submission. So don't just ignore it. So be sure at least to have the problem so you can resubmit that problem. Now, pretty much this it is. But before I move on, and I will stop the recording for a moment.